Firestorm, the Nuclear Man, a dynamic debut in this explosive first issue. Heads up, New York, make way for Firestorm. Wowee, if the kids at school could only see me now. I haven't felt this good since I made the winning touchdown in the championship game with Central High. Sense it? Something special is in the air tonight. Tonight, in the starlit winter sky of Manhattan, a hero is being born. Fantastic! I can fly. I can alter my own atoms. I can even change things around me. Talk about a dream come true. I just wish I had all this morning, when Cliff Carmichael was dumping on me. Man, I would have fixed his hash all right. That man! He's on fire! Uh-oh, that guy down in the street, gawking at me. He's gonna be creamed by that cab. Unless... Heck, why not? I can alter atoms, right? One wave, and presto. No more cab. 2 tons of taxi into 2 tons of H2O. Neat trick if I say so myself. Harry, did you see that? 1 minute this flying joker was heading straight at our chopper. And the next minute he flies right through us, like we're not even here. No problem, gents, for a kid who can switch his atomic structure at will. The name's Firestorm, gang, and in case you hadn't guessed, I'm the world's first nuclear man. Very good, Ronald. You have tested your powers and found them adequate. Time now to deal with more serious matters. Agreed? Right, Professor. For example, a first-class jerk named Eddie Earhart. The creep who made me what I am today, not to mention almost killing me in the process. Here we are, Professor. Scenic South, New Jersey, and the spanking new Brooks nuclear power plant. Judging by that rip fencing, Eddie and his gang have already arrived, just as they said they would. Punctual bunch of crazies, aren't they? Let's see, if I could fly through a helicopter. 10 feet of concrete should be a cinch. And it is. Be careful, Ronald. The tag's Firestorm, Professor, for both of us now. Eddie, look! Some freak, making like a bird. Hold that thought, you bozo, and drop that dynamite. Whoever he is, we can't let him stop us blowing up this plant. Use your guns. Kill him. A moment frozen in time. The shouted command is like a sword cutting through the hero's bravado, slicing thought like flesh, and laying bare the bone of memory. Suddenly, this game has become deadly, and in shock, Firestorm's mind jumps back to another game 12 hours before. Less dangerous, perhaps, but to Firestorm, no less meaningful. Hey kid, the ball! Grab the ball! No way, it's coming in too fast. He'll fudge it. He's got to. Want to bet? It's a touchdown! We win! Cliff, he's just marvelous. The way he leaped for that ball. He almost seemed to stretch those last few inches. Come on, Doreen, be serious. How can you be interested in a common jock when you've got me? Guess. You're the new transfer student, aren't you? My name's Doreen Day. I saw you during homeroom. Hi, I'm Ronnie Raymond. I know, I peeked at the seating chart. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Say, hero, that was some catch. 2-Bit says you can't do it again while chewing gum. Is that a wisecrack? You figured that out? Brilliant. Cliff, for heaven's sake. Doreen isn't the only one who checked you out after homeroom, Raymond. I've seen your transcript. You're a true Albert Einstein. Tell me, is it true that your newspaper reporter dad yanked you from your last school because you flunked spelling your own name? Listen, Big Mouth. I don't know who you are or why you're writing me, but one more dig and I'll turn your glasses into contact lenses. Ah yes, the threat of violence. A typical reaction of the intellectual primitive. As for who I am, Einstein, ask around. Everyone knows Clifford Carmichael. I'm the class whiz kid. Cross me at your own risk. Butterfingers. Hey, if you've ever been insulted without reason, then you know how Ronnie Raymond feels now. Believe us, it's going to get worse. All right, class. When was Charles the First of England beheaded? Easy. That was in 1649, Mr. Tubman, by an act of British Parliament. Huh? He jumped me on purpose. Excellent, Clifford. And who replaced the dead king? A cinch. I read that last year back in Charles II, Mr. Tubman, during the Restoration in 1660. Very good, Clifford. Now who was Oliver Cromwell? And I know, Mr. Tubman. Eh? Young man, this is not a football field. There's no need for shouting or rudeness. Perhaps you were star player on your team in your last school, but here, what counts is academic accomplishment. Clifford, will you answer the question, please? Who is this kid named Ronnie Raymond, you ask? And why is he important to Firestorm? Wait and see, dear reader. I hardly know Carmichael, Doreen, so why is he dumping on me? Jealousy? Of me? A guy who barely gets a B- average? Why should he be jealous? Really, do you care, Ronnie? Nah, I guess not. Liar. Who wants to look like a dummy in front of a smart lady like Doreen? Cliff makes me look stupid, and that burns me. Well, what do you know? Raymond can chew and cut meat at the same time. Amazing. Carmichael, I warned you! Oh no. Man, have I blown it, spilling my lunch all over Doreen. Doreen, I'm sorry. I guess Carmichael's right. I am a moron. Clifford, for a boy with a genius IQ, you act like you got the wits of a retarded oyster. But I don't look like a human lunch pail, Doreen dear. Look at you. You're as bad as he is. Carmichael, you die. Meanwhile, outside. I hoped I could find friends in this school, now that Dad's promised to settle down at his newspaper job. We were always moving from city to city before. I never had a chance to make friends before we moved again. But after today, how can I ever get people to like me? First grandstanding at that football game, then getting a teacher angry, and now messing up my chances with a really neat girl. Raymond, you are one real loser. And, as the depressed Ronnie Raymond wanders the school grounds waiting for lunch period to end, worried eyes watch him from the office of the school principal, Dr. Wallace Hapgood. Ed Raymond is an old friend, but his son has me concerned. He seems such a tense young man. Perhaps I'll have a talk with him. He might just need a friendly ear. But Ronnie isn't the only member of our cast vitally connected to Firestorm. At the new experimental Hudson nuclear power plant, we'll find another character equally crucial to our hero. The Nobel Prize-winning physicist who designed and built this installation, Professor Martin Stein. Finished, after all these months and years. It's finally done. Tomorrow the governor arrives for the oh-so-necessary political ceremonies. But as far as this man is concerned, the plan is ready for operation now, today. The world's first fully automated fail-safe nuclear generating plant. Quite an achievement. Not that those young protesters out there would admit it, even if they understood it. I don't blame them for their fears, however. Many nuclear plants are unsafe. But not this one. This building has more backup computer controls than Washington has bureaucrats. And how much more secure can... Hey? Black, what the devil are you doing here? Protecting my rights, Stein. Your rights? What? Danton Black is no man's fool, Stein. When I worked as your assistant, you stole my plans for this plant. That's a damned lie. Prove it to a jury, Stein. Gentlemen, do your duty. Professor, I represent the Nuclear Regulations Council. Until we've investigated Dr. Black's allegations, we're forced to enjoin the opening of this plant. But this is absurd. The man's a crook. I fired him for stealing equipment, and now he frames me? Life stinks, doesn't it, Professor? See you in court. I'd sooner see you in hell. Damn, I know how the public reacts. If this plant closes for any reason, people will believe it's due to faulty design. Civic groups will pressure the government to keep the plant closed, and all my work will have been for nothing. By God, no! Injunction or no, I'm placing this plant online, tonight, and no one is going to stop me. Several hours later, rejoining our other major cast member. There goes the phone. Dad isn't home yet, so it has to be him. Just once, I wish he'd be like a normal father. With Mom dead, there's no one I can... Hi, Dad. Oh, sure, Dad. Lots of work at the paper? Can't make it home for dinner? Disappointed? No, Dad. I don't mind. Honest. Protesters from the Coalition to Resist Atomic Power have marched outside the new plant all week. Their leader, Edward Earhart, had this to say earlier today. Now is the time for all intelligent people to join the battle against nuclear proliferation, right here in America. It's a cause demanding attention from all serious men and women. And I'm proud to stand in the vanguard of... That's it! I know how I can prove to Doreen I'm not a dumb jock. You're joining Eddie Earhart's group? Ronnie, is that wise? I just want you to be proud of me, Doreen. Me? What about you? Ronnie, your self-esteem is more important than... Ronnie? He hung up. But he won't do anything rash. Ronnie's a smart kid. He'll be okay. I hope. Not long after, on a shadowed street in Manhattan's Upper West Side. Hi, is this the Coalition headquarters? It sure ain't the Sanford Arms, kid. What's the matter? Ain't it fancy enough for you? No, I mean, not that. I just expected something different. Don't we all? My name's Eddie Earhart, kid. You might say I'm the head honcho. I'm Ronnie Raymond. I, thought maybe if you want volunteers... We always want volunteers, kid. Grab a chair. Eddie, hey, what's the idea? We've got a big job tonight. Who needs a punk tagging along? You dummy. This kid's got no ties to us, right? He's new, which makes him the perfect patsy. Smart. That way the cops will never connect us to the bombing. There's hope for you yet, Wolfman. And so, a short time later, a battered gray van thumps its way north on the Henry Hudson Highway. While within... Funny, but you talk different from the way you sounded on TV. Politics, kid. You want to make an impact on the masses, you gotta sound special, comprende? I guess so. Soon, after an hour's bumping drive into Westchester. Isn't this the experimental plant where you were demonstrating this afternoon? You're real bright, kid. Only tonight we're gonna do more than just wave placards. But listen, isn't breaking in like this against the law? Yeah, so? So maybe you better tell me what we're doing here. What do you think, kid? We're gonna make an example of this atomic joint. By blowing it sky high. No, people might be killed. I won't let you. Kid, what makes you think you can stop us? Hell. And double hell. With the plant officially shut down, there are no security guards. I've been watching the monitors myself while bringing the atomic pile up to full power, and I think I've seen quite enough. You there! Release that boy and get out, before I call the police. You should have called the cops first, Pops. Too bad. For you. Leave them together over by the atomic pile. When this gizmo goes off, there won't be enough left of both of them to make one man. Let the fuzz figure that one. Now come on. We've got us another date at the Brooks Atomic Plant in Jersey. My head. Where? What? With a squeal of aging axles, the battered van speeds off, and as it does, it passes another vehicle heading in the opposite direction. A car driven by Professor Stein's treacherous former assistant, one Dr. Danton Black. Now is a perfect opportunity to sneak a look at Stein's computer designs. Then I can copy his plans to support my claim that... Eh? A hole in the perimeter fence, a broken door lock, both signs that someone has broken in here. If one of my enemies has beaten me to Stein's material, I may need to resort to violence. Simultaneously, a dozen steps away, dynamite, with a timer set to explode. I can't leave this old guy lying here. Gotta grab the bomb before it... At another time and in another place, under different circumstances, both Ronnie Raymond and Martin Stein would be dead in less than 3 seconds. Fate, however, has other plans. A few minutes ago, this plan was activated for the first time, and in a way inexplicable, it now blooms to full fury, catalyzed by the thundering dynamite detonation. A million ergs of radiation pour through man and boy like sunlight through a pair of windows. Very special radiation, unlike anything previously unleashed by man. And they're not the only living creatures touched by that nuclear fury. For in the corridor beyond, Danton Black is also struck by waves of ravaging radiation. A tide so powerful it slams him back into total unconsciousness. And as he sprawls there, flamelets dancing on the smoldering remains of his Yves Saint Laurent sports ensemble, his body seems to shimmer momentarily, before starting to shine with a soft amber glow. While inside the main reactor room, Ronnie Raymond finds himself whirling in a bizarre maelstrom. I feel like I'm melting. No, not melting. Merging. Like stereo images coming into focus. I'm changing. But I'm still alive. Yet that is impossible. An explosion of that magnitude, coupled with exposure to such colossal radiation. Huh? Did I say that? Rattle off that scientific jargon? My mind feels like it's crawling with information. Things I never knew before. Couldn't even guess before. Suddenly, I almost seem to know what's happening inside me. That wall. I can look at it, and it's as though I can read its atomic structure, just by glancing. Yes, I can. I can see how the wall is composed of various molecular combinations, and if I can see that, I can change it. All I have to do is just touch the atoms of the escaping gas and air, and I can mend the shattered wall by rearranging the air's atomic structure, with all the ease of Aladdin rubbing his magic lamp. Fantastic! Everywhere I look, objects seem so different. It's like a fog breaking on a sunny day. Before, the world was hazy, indistinct, but now, I've changed somehow, and I can see things more clearly than... Whoops, oh boy, talk about seeing things clearly. Where are my pants? Must have lost them in the explosion, the same explosion which made me something new, a nuclear man. Hey, if I can fix walls, I sure should be able to set up a new pair of jeans, and since I've got the powers of some crazy kind of superhero, I might as well have the duds to match. What is it you call the aftermath of an atomic explosion? A firestorm. That's it. That's what I'll call myself. Firestorm, the nuclear man. Then, abruptly, the air quivers as though in a heat wave, and the youth called Firestorm feels a splitting sensation, as... There's someone else inside me, in my mind. Who? The name is Stein, Ronald. Martin Stein. You're apparently communicating with my subconscious. You might say I'm your other half. Then, that merging I felt after the explosion was real. I'm you, and you're me. And it seems we're both the super being you named Firestorm. We appear to be victims of an uncanny nuclear fusion. But if we're both inside, then who's in charge? You are, Ronald, because I was unconscious during the accident. My personality is in a passive mode. Our decisions will have to be made by you alone. I can only advise, provide information, and contribute half our strength. Professor, what's happening? Our personas are rejoining, Ronald. For, if I remember properly, we have a mission to perform. Eddie Earhart. While I was coming around, I heard him mention a Jersey atomic plant. I'll get him, Professor, but first I want to test my new powers. Something tells me this is going to be a gas. And as the nuclear man swoops toward distant Manhattan, his atomic structure altered to less than the density of air, he leaves behind Dr. Danton Black, who continues to glow weirdly. Though now he shifts position and starts to wake with a muffled groan. A moment frozen in time, the wound of memory heals, and Firestorm girds himself for battle renewed, with a grin. Gangway, losers! You bozos have caused enough trouble for one night. So get ready to pack it in. Wolfman, stomp 'em! Sure thing, Eddie. Only, how do you stomp a guy who isn't there? Neat trick, huh? Wait till you see the rest of my act. Mainly this. Hey, where's the floor? Somebody throw me a rope. Whoa, mama. Ronald, to your rear. I saw him, Professor. Almost like I have eyes in the back of my head. Let's see you duck a bullet, Buster. Fancy suit or not, you're a dead cucumber? Chew on that, Micromind. Sirens. We must have set off alarms. Now the fuzz are almost here. Everything's gone wrong. I wanted to make a splash, be important. But I blew it, just like I always blow everything. Damn, my whole crummy life has been a bust. Flunking college, losing all my jobs. Well, not this time. This time, if I'm going down, I won't go down alone. Earhart, are you nuts? You're setting off the dynamite. I have to move, try something far out, and if it doesn't work, we're all gonna end up part of the woodwork. An instant of thunder, a second of flame, and then incredibly, survival. What did you do? Why aren't we dead? We didn't die because I absorbed the blast into my own bod. And brother, do I need an Alka-Seltzer. But first, why are you looking at me that way? The cops are here now. You wouldn't. Oh, wouldn't I? Moments later, a fiery figure arrows up from the Brooks nuclear power plant, soaring eastward across the muddy Hudson River. Eastward to the Isle of Manhattan. And the street that Ronnie Raymond is beginning to call home. Wait till Dad gets a load of me in this. Huh? A reflection in that shop window. Who the heck is... me? But it isn't me. What's happened to Ronnie Raymond? I don't want to be Firestorm forever. I want to be me. Me. Me! And, as suddenly as that, and as inexplicably as it began, the freakish fusion ends. Seeing myself in that makeshift mirror must have been a trigger. Me and the professor are splitting up. But for good, or only for a while? Funny, never thought I'd believe it, but maybe I'll be glad if we never join again. Yeah, maybe. Where am I? Last thing I remember, an explosion. Here, Professor, lean on me. Who are you? A friend, Professor. Yeah, can you believe it? A friend. By no means the end. Next issue, Firestorm returns to face Multiplex, the duplicate menace.